Hello, guys. Welcome back on the LJ.Mindset podcast. So, I'm your host, Louisa Jazora, and in this episode, we're going to talk about emotional intelligence. So, first thing first, the question is, okay, but what is emotional intelligence? So, emotional intelligence is also known as emotional quotient. So, we have different intelligence. We have the emotional intelligence. We have the intelligence for school, the logic. We have also math intelligence. You know what I mean? So, we have different categories of intelligence. But for me, the most important intelligence everyone needs to know, but it's not that easy, okay? You need to work is for me emotional intelligence, because it is basically the ability to recognize and manage your own emotions and to understand and respond to the emotions of others. So this skill helps you navigate social complexities, maintain a positive relationships, and make informed decisions. So, why is emotional intelligence important? Because emotional intelligence is basically crucial for developing and maintaining a productive relationship in both personal and professional settings, but also with your family, with your friends, but also for yourself. And so it basically allows you to understand different perspectives and manage your emotions effectively and to respond supportively to others. So basically, emotional intelligence helps you to understand your own emotions. But emotional intelligence also helps you developing your mindset, developing yourself. Because if I wasn't with my mother, if I wasn't a person that could basically listen to everyone or to listen to my mother, I would never be here with you. I would never be here doing a podcast. I would never, okay? Because my father is the complete opposite. My father is someone very he has the math intelligence, the intelligence for school, but my mom and I, we have this emotional intelligence. And again, it isn't easy at all. I think it is basically the most complicated intelligence, I think. Okay, well, for me, in my perspective, it isn't easy, and I'm going to tell you why also. But to respond to what I said before, my mom has also the emotional intelligence, and she has worked all her life. Now she's in her 40s, and so basically she understood emotional intelligence. She also worked with herself. She also worked with her emotions, and stuff like that. And she was in her 40s, so she wanted me and also my sister to basically develop develop emotional intelligence when we were younger, and so, well, my sister and I are very different. So everyone is different. Everyone doesn't really understand emotional intelligence, etc. Everyone is different. But I was basically the first one. Well, I'm the firstborn, but I was the first one who was very intrigued about it. Because my mother, she had a lot of friends who were had this emotional intelligence, and I was so passionate about it. And so I became I basically read books. I also talked with a lot of people, but they were 20 years old or older, and I was maybe 12 or 13, and so all my life, well, right now I'm 17 years old, but between the age of 12 and 17 years old, I've learned so many things about emotional intelligence. I've came through so much things in my life with my father, with my family, with my friends, with school, etc., with stress, and so, yeah, it isn't easy at all. I'm not someone who is incredibly good at school, I have good grades. I I'm in a good school. So basically it's good. I'm not like, basically what I want you to understand is that I don't have this like school intelligence or this math intelligence. I don't have it, Maybe I can work it, but do I want to work it? No. And that's a little bit like a problem, but like I'm getting good grades, so that's what all matters. But for me, the most important is really emotional intelligence, because you will need this all your life. Even if you have like kids, even if you're just alone, I don't care. You need this all your life. And that's why in this podcast, we are going to talk about emotional intelligence, because it is the most important thing you can ever like do. And again, it isn't that easy. So let's go through it. So first thing first, we're going to talk about the components of emotional intelligence. So first, self-awareness. So you need to recognize your emotions and understand how they affect your behavior. So how they affect yourself, Then the second is basically self-management. Controlling your emotional responses, communicating effectively, and handling stress. So for me, I'm going to talk about me. Controlling your emotion was a bit complicated for me last year in 2023. It was like the year where I just worked on myself like crazy about emotional intelligence. So controlling my emotions, it's not like controlling everything, but like controlling, like when you feel angry, you know that you're angry. So you need to basically tell yourself, okay, Luisa, I'm angry. So now I need to go to my room, just breathe again, just clarify my mindset, and then I'm going back, and this is controlling your emotions. So understanding your behaviors. And so basically, I'm not saying to yourself, you need to be perfect, because no one is perfect here. Like, no one. And you know that. But like, what I need you to understand is basically how to just understanding your behavior, understanding why am I angry or why am I sad, Maybe not always negative things, but also like maybe happy things, okay? And so also handling stress. Well, this is the year, I think, where I need to handling stress. It is very difficult for me. I think in my emotional intelligence, I think I am like, it's not that I want to say I am very good at it, but like I've come through so much thing and I've learned from it. And that is emotional intelligence. I've learned from my behaviors. I've learned about like what I did before, and this is important basically. But handling stress in school, wow, this is complicated for me. Handling stress, even if I don't know, taking the plane or I don't know, just I'm so stressed out for sometimes no reason. And I'm like, girl, you're stressed out for nothing. What is wrong with you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid, But no, you're not stupid. If you're stressed and sometimes you just don't know why, maybe it's not the conscious, but the subconscious, and that is what is important basically, because sometimes your subconscious is thinking about a situation, but like you are not aware in your conscious, I hope you understand this, but basically sometimes this is the problem. Sometimes this is why you're not feeling good and you're like, why am I not feeling good, I had like a really good day, Sometimes you just don't know why. It means that it is basically a sign that you need to understand and basically open yourself with like the signs, So this is basically handling stress, communicating, and also controlling your emotional. Then we're going to talk about empathy, understanding and responding to the emotions of others. So first thing first, you need to understand your emotions. That's just clear, Again, when you're angry, you need to understand, oh, I'm angry. I know it's not about like someone else. I know that I'm angry because this and this and this, And then you will basically need to respond to the emotions of others. So empathy, again, it isn't for everyone at all. Not everyone has this, and naturally, I can't say I'm lucky because I have empathy. I think I've I've always like worked on myself all my life, even when I was very young, like at the age of maybe 5 or 4, but empathy, again, it isn't something for everyone. Empathy is, again, having just understanding the others and putting yourself in the other's life, Sometimes it can be easy for someone, sometimes it's not, but for me, it is very easy because sometimes I'm like, girl, I had this situation where I was with my friends and like with not good friends, but I was with my friends and they were judging. Yeah, she just like, she was there, she was paying stuff, etc. And then like the cashier, she was not very like smiling, and she wasn't rude at all because she had like a lot of respect. She said like hi, bye, etc. But she wasn't like smiling and being like just good, and she made just a little mistake, just stuff like that. It can happen, And my friend was like, she was just not shouting with her, but she was like, girl, you can do this and this, She was like angry at her, and I was like, girl, maybe she had a bad day. Maybe she has kids and maybe, I don't know, it isn't okay in her life. Or maybe, I don't care, but like, maybe she isn't feeling alright because of her life, Maybe she had like, again, a bad day, You don't know their life. So why are you judging them, And that is empathy. And that, not everyone has it. My friend didn't have this at all. Okay, she was just basically, I don't know, she had also things to work on herself, but she didn't have this empathy, And I've always had this empathy because I'm very like emotional. I'm someone who is very emotional, who is very like sensitive. But like, you need to understand, being sensitive doesn't mean you're weak, like not at all. It means that when you're sensitive, you can feel the emotions of others, and that's why being sensitive, being emotional is crucial for everything in life. And for me, it is even more crucial because I want to be in business, So I need to talk with like persons. I need to talk with other like entrepreneurs, I have this ability of being so emotional and sensitive that I can understand what they are feeling right now. And so you understand what I mean? So it will be more easier for me to understand them because I have this, like, I am so sensitive. And also with my customers, I am so sensitive and emotional that I can turn my sensitiveness with the others, And that's when you have this kind of ability, when you have an ability, don't think of something stupid, because when I was emotional, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so emotional. I'm so weak. I don't understand everything. I'm gonna cry for everything. No. You need to turn this ability into something good. And that's what I did this past year. I was like, girl, I am emotional. I am sensitive. I have this empathy. Not everyone has it, Not everyone has worked all their life just because of this, And now I can turn this into something positive. And that's what we want, And again, now we're going to talk about relationship management. So building and maintaining a healthy and productive relationship. Well, with this point, I have different ideas. So first thing first, yes, building and maintaining a healthy and productive relationship is important for emotional intelligence. But what you need to understand is it is normal and it is just life, Sometimes having just when you're chatting with someone or when you're having a bad day with someone, I don't care, just it is normal to have bad things in relationships, because in relationships with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your friend, or your mother, everyone, okay? It is normal to basically have discussions about something bad or anything, because you need to understand why are you basically living this, okay? You need to understand, because in life we all have a different path, In life we will we need to have this discussions with some people. We need to understand this. We need to understand what we did wrong and to learn from this, And that's what we need to do in life. We just need to understand, why is it happening to me, Why is she shouting with me because I was a bit angry with her, or because I was rude to her? You know, you need to understand what you did wrong, because this is life, you know. Just, yeah, I have just no words, because this is how life works. You need to understand, like, what you did wrong in life, and then you will become a better person. And I'm not talking about you will become the perfect person. No, not at all. Like, sometimes I am angry. Sometimes I'm shouting with everyone. It happens, you know. But the difference, we can have emotions, but you need to understand them and to not do the same again and again and again, you know. This is what you need to understand with, like, relationship management. Because again, with my father, just like right now, I'm in San Diego, I'm visiting my father, and so I don't see him very often. Come here like maybe twice, or just a year. So building a relationship with my father was very complicated for me. We had, it is my, like, we had some issues in the past, and so it was complicated for me to basically build this relationship, because I was scared, you know. But like, right now, I'm 17, I'm like, okay, he did something wrong, he did like a lot of things wrong, but the thing is, he understands now his problems, he understands what he did wrong. And so, like, seeing someone just understanding what he did wrong, understanding life, understanding what he did, you know, well, you can see that this person is building emotional intelligence, because he wants to understand what he did wrong. He wants to, like, a positive relationship. And that's why now I am close with my father, because now he's building emotional intelligence. And I'm like, good, like, it feels so good to see a person, to see your parents just, like, just getting better, you know, in life. And so, relationship management, sometimes it can be very complicated. It happens to everyone. Even if someone has the highest emotional intelligence, it means that it is normal to feel this. It is normal to feel angriness. It feel just normal, okay? Just with this, I don't want you to think that you need to be perfect. You need to stop being angry or stuff like that. No, it isn't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to be understanding your emotions. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about how to improve your emotional intelligence. So the first thing you need to understand is to be self-aware. So you need to basically track your emotions and understand their causes. So again, understand your emotions. So you can basically write them on a journal. You can write them everywhere. You can talk with someone. And then talking with someone, well, you will understand their causes. You will understand why you're angry, why you're sad, you know. Or when you don't want to talk with someone, and that is completely okay, because sometimes I'm also like this. You need to basically write it on a journal, because sometimes just thinking about it, your head hurts a lot, and then you can't think about it. So that's why I'm saying talking with someone or writing it on a journal is important, because you will just take out all this angriness, all this sadness, you know, all this blah blah blah, you know, in your head, and just write it somewhere, or putting it with, like, just talking with someone, and then your head will be a lot more clearer, and it will be a lot more easier to think, you know. And so that's why the first thing is to be self-aware. Then the second is to recognize others' emotions. So sometimes, even for me, it is sometimes complicated to recognize the emotions, because everyone is different. So everyone, everyone is different, you know. So I can take an example with my sister, because again, we are completely opposite. With my sister, she's someone who has a lot of emotions, but she doesn't really express it, okay? So she will take a lot of her emotions in her, you know. And I'm someone who basically is completely like, we're not the same. I am someone who will express it at 100%, and sometimes people call me a drama queen, because when I feel sad, I really feel sad. When I feel angry, I am angry like at 100%. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're completely different persons. But doesn't mean like I'm good or I'm bad, because everyone has other like emotions. Everyone doesn't like controls their emotions like everyone does, So yeah. So basically, when you don't know someone and you need to understand their emotions, it can be sometimes complicated. When you have empathy, it is a lot more easier. But yeah, sometimes it can be complicated. So if you don't really understand someone's emotions and it frustrates you, well, you need to back up, because sometimes even me, even my mother, even just a couple of my friends, when they can't do anything for this person, they're getting mad because they're like, I'm not doing anything, and we don't want this, because then you will feel like this, like their sadness, and we don't want this, because I don't want you to attract their emotions, because you need to let them have their own emotions. They just simply need someone to talk about it. And when you see someone who doesn't want to talk about their emotions, like my sister, please just leave them alone. It's not because of you. It's not because, I know you want to help them, but you need to leave them alone, because sometimes this kind of person, they need to be alone to understand their own emotions, That's why when my sister is not feeling good, I'm like, do you want to talk about it? And when she's like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to, don't take it personal. It's not about you. It's about her. She isn't ready to talk about it. So I leave her alone for a couple of days, a week, and then when she's ready, she can talk with me. And if she doesn't, well, she doesn't, It's your life. And that's why you need to understand these kinds of different persons, different people, Yeah, I have this example with my sister, but you can also, I think there are a lot more different persons. Maybe there are persons who like me express their emotions at 100%. Maybe there are persons who talk with their psychologist and just don't want to talk about it with nobody. Sometimes they have trust issues, and this is normal. But again, you need to respect their emotions. You need to respect your emotions also. And so that's why recognizing other emotions can be sometimes complicated when you don't understand or you are not aware of different kind of personalities, different kinds of just persons with different emotions. And that's why. So just don't force them, because if they're ready, they will talk with you. But if they don't, they won't. Okay? So now the third is to practice active listening. I love this one because I'm someone who basically listens every day, everyone. Yeah. So basically in it, you need to show respect and to understand through listening. So when someone is talking with you, it's because they are trusting you. Okay. They know that they can trust you. So please don't do something bad. You need if someone is talking to you, they're trusting you. They want to talk about it because they know that you're someone who they can trust, who they can talk about it, etc., who can understand you. Okay. It can also happen with me. But sometimes with my sister, I'm like, girl, why did you do this? Why, and I'm just feeling a little bit angry. And she's like, okay, girl, I don't want to talk with you, because if you're becoming angry at me, I don't want to talk with you at all. And this is normal, And since she said that to me, I was like, okay, I need to respect her emotions. I need to respect that she did this on a purpose. She did this because she thought it was good, So please, if you're a mother, if you are a father, if you're a teenager, I don't care. Just respect the other's emotions, okay? If you're a teenager, if I don't know, your sister, I don't care, but if they don't want to talk about it, respect it. If they want to talk about it, but you're becoming angry at them, no, respect them, okay? They know that they did something wrong, but you need to respect them, You need to encourage them and to say to them, yeah, you did something wrong, but at least you understand now that you did something wrong. So you did something positive, and that is emotional intelligence. That is empathy, okay? So yeah, showing respect is important. Then understanding through listening is when someone is talking to you. Please don't be on your phone. Don't be like just doing something else, just reading your book. Just listen to them actively. You need to be there for them, you need to be there for your friends, for your family, for your sisters and brothers, So yeah, and you will see that if you do this, people will trust you a lot more. And they will talk about so much cool things, and you can, and then you will be able to basically manage a relationship. So now we are on the fourth step, is to basically communicate clearly. So using a strong communication skills to build relationships. So what you need to understand in it is that using strong communications, again, it is, oh my gosh, this one is so complicated because I want this to be for everyone. I want that everyone understand this. But it's a bit complicated because sometimes you have, I think I have an example. I have this friend, and when I'm talking with him, he's not really how can I say it? He's not really, he's someone that is so cool. He's so funny, he's really cool. But when I'm talking with him, he's not someone who will be like, oh, no, this happens. And, he won't be so much passionate about it. And in it, you need to understand that he's like this, he's just like this. We won't be able to change him, it is normal. But I'm not someone who will be talking with him very often about my personal life, because he's not someone who is really communicating in a good way, in the way that I need to, so basically communicating clearly is to be able to talk with them and to basically doing what they need, If you don't understand, maybe you can search it on Google and ask also what is basically communicating clearly, because maybe I just don't know how to basically express it. And now we will do number 5. So it's to basically stay positive. So staying positive, again, if you're having a bad day, why being positive? Okay, you're having a bad day. It is normal for you to be negative. It is normal for everyone, even myself, But staying positive is to basically maintaining a positive attitude to, especially in a stressful situation. So maintaining a positive attitude, if you can be positive, do it then. So it can be smiling, being happy about it, being grateful for what you have, you will be a lot more positive about it. But if you have a bad day, don't force yourself to be happy, But what you can do if you're having a bad day is basically understanding your emotions. And then you will be able to adopt a more positive attitude. And yeah, again, adopting a positive attitude is also to basically being grateful for what you have. And a positive attitude in a stressful situation, I'm the one talking, but I'm the one who has very stressed in life. Sometimes you're why is she stressed for this, why, And so if you can, especially in stressful situations, adopting a positive attitude, you're the best, you have this ability. I want this ability. I want to learning from you. So if you have a positive attitude, even in stressful situations, please just write it on the comments, because I want to know. I want to know about my community, how they do this, because yeah, sometimes you're listening to someone and you're like, yeah, she knows everything. But no, it isn't true at all. I know a lot of things because I want to know this, I want to learn from it. But sometimes even me, I need to have people who basically help me to learn something. Okay, so now number 6 is empathize. So, considering others' feelings and respond appropriately. So, this one is a bit like the fourth one, but this one is a bit like easier, So, empathize is to basically understanding and considering others' feelings, others' feelings of like other people. When they're telling about their emotions, you need to respond in more appropriately. So you need to respond in a good way. But there we have so many different like people. So my sister, she's someone again that is, she doesn't really like to talk about her emotions. So why do you want to yell at someone because she doesn't want to talk about her emotions? Because sometimes it happens to me because I'm angry because I want to help her. But like, why? You need to respect it. So the second type of person, is also basically like when you're angry at them because they did something bad and you are basically yelling at them back. I'm sorry, but like, it isn't good what you did. It isn't good at all. In this kind of situation, you need to respond appropriately. So you need to respond in a good way. So if someone says to you, yeah, I crashed my car. This one is a bit violent, but like, I crashed my car. I'm very sorry. I was looking at my phone and it was very bad for me. And your friend says to you, oh my gosh, why did you do this? You could die from it, etc. You are overreacting. Okay, maybe not overreacting because I understand you, but you are like basically yelling at them even more. But they're like, this person is so angry at herself because she looked at her phone and she understood what she did. But like, if you're yelling at them again, oh my gosh, she will explode, she know what I did wrong, so why are you yelling at me, I need support, and that's what people need in life. They need someone who can listen to them. They need someone who can support them. Yeah, they did something wrong, but did they learn from it? Yes, so why are you yelling at them? This is empathy again. I know that this person was like very angry at them because they could have died. And this is completely normal. This emotion isn't normal. It is like accurate because, yeah, she could have died and she was scared for her, But like, if you were just overreacting again, this person, she will tell you nothing, She just don't want to talk about it because like, you're putting a lot more negativity in her, and she is so angry at herself that you are angry at her and it will explode. And empathy is to understand the two persons in the same situation, but you need to understand the two and you need to find a solution, and that is basically empathize, considering others' feelings and to respond appropriately, so not yelling at them. We have also a third situation. If someone did something very bad and just doesn't understand, it is normal to yell a little bit at them because they will see that it isn't good what they did, and it could have been a lot more worse. So they need to understand, and if you're being really angry at them, they will understand that, okay, she's angry at me right now. It is because I did something very bad. I need to understand and I need to just basically ask myself what I did wrong. And then you will understand, and that is what you need to do, okay? So now number 7 is to be open-minded. My favorite one. Embracing new ideas and perspectives. Being open-minded is to basically respect others' opinions. Maybe you think that others' opinions are not correct. Maybe some people, they think that your opinion is false, but like, for me, this is immature. People that just don't basically understand others. Like, no, you don't need to understand others' opinions, but you need to be open-minded. So you need to accept. I'm not saying you need to force yourself, but like, what you need to do to be also mature is to basically being open-minded. So respect others' opinions. So basically putting also arguments, but also respect others' opinions, others' like responses, When you're like mature, you don't basically yell at people for their responses or for their opinions, When you're mature, you are understanding others' emotions. You are understanding others' opinions. You're respecting this because this is their lives, not yours, So you do whatever you want, but they do also whatever they want, So you need to stop, you need to stop controlling them. You don't want them to control yourself. Like, why are you also controlling them, And so being open-minded is to basically putting like new ideas and also like just new perspectives, Sometimes even me, I love to be like open-minded. I love to understand all those like opinions because I learn so much more from it. Because being open-minded, you can learn so much other things, but also so much other like opinions. So number 8 is to listen to feedback. So using feedbacks as an opportunity to improve, okay? I said to improve. So there are 2 types of feedback. The first one is feedbacks about the person who wants you to improve in your life. So this is good. You don't need to take it personally. If you're basically not right with them, then it is normal for you to say, it is a good feedback, but I don't want it, Because it is normal. But if you are like just hearing and accepting others' feedbacks, then it's good because you can also improve yourself. And that's what we want, Sometimes you don't see what you're doing wrong. Sometimes you think, no, I did something good, but sometimes it is wrong. And so understanding others' opinions can be very helpful. But then you have the second feedback. And this one is not the good one. So I had some friends who always were criticizing me, and so they gave me feedback, and I was like, is this a feedback or are they criticizing me? So you need to basically make the differences between a good feedback and a bad feedback. So a good feedback is to basically someone who wants you to improve. So they are talking about something positive, something that you could a little bit better. And there are also feedbacks like people who don't want you to get better. So they're just giving you feedbacks that are like really not good. In my life, I had this friend who told me I needed to stop talking with my friends because they were bizarre, And I was like, why? Why do you want me to stop to talk with them just because they're bizarre for you, not for me, because they're good people? And she was like, no, they're not attractive. It could be like a bad reputation. I don't care. That is like the difference between the good feedback and the bad feedback. When you are hearing a bad feedback and you don't know what is good or bad, is like you need to basically just question yourself. Why is she saying it to me, Because they're not attractive. Okay, but it isn't a good argument. I don't care if they are not attractive. What I care is if there's someone good, if they're good people, And you know what? This friend isn't my friend since 2 or 3 years. And now I like my friends before who weren't attractive, even if I just don't care if they're attractive or not. They're good people. They're still my friends right now, even like after 3 years. 4 years, So you can see the difference between like really the good persons and the bad persons. Just be aware of the good feedbacks and the bad feedbacks. Okay, so now number 9, the last one, is to stay calm under pressure. So you need to develop strategies to manage your stress and to stay composed. So just a little disclaimer, I have also another episode about how to manage stress. So staying calm under pressure is to basically, when you're like a lot of pressure. So I will take a good example, is when you have a presentation in school. Everyone had it. Everyone had like a lot of pressures because they had a presentation. So you need to develop strategies to manage this stress. So the first question is, okay, I am stressed. Okay, you need to analyze your emotion. Second, why am I stressing? Oh, I'm stressing because I have a presentation. Okay, the third question is, what can I do to feel better? Well, did you learn your presentation? Yes, I did. Did you know everything? Did you organize yourself for your presentation? Yes, I did. Okay. Third one, do you know your text? Yes, I do. Okay. Like, you have 3 points. You know them all. So you don't need to stress. And now you're like, oh, okay, I don't need to stress. Well, okay. And now you're just like losing it, You're like, okay, I don't need to stress because I know everything. So why am I stressing, And then you have also others. Like sometimes me, I know everything, but I'm continuing like stressing. Well, sometimes you are maybe not stressed because you know everything. You are maybe stressed because you are basically in a room with everyone looking at you. And I know that's for some people can be stressful, and it is completely understandable. Yes, people are looking at you. But these people are also stressed. Just tell yourself, people are also stressed, People, they're also stressed because they need also to do a presentation. In school, they are stressing. They're not even like listening to a presentation because they don't, like, it's not they don't care, but like some of them are just stressed because after they need to come and present themselves, So the first point is to understand that they're also stressed, You aren't like the only one. Everyone is stressed. Second is, yes, you are stressed because people are looking at you. But like, if like they need to look at you, can't like look at the table or, So when people are looking at you and you know that you need to look at them back because you need to have these points, if you don't want to look in their eyes, in their souls, you just don't look at them, but you look on basically the wall. It really works, And so this is a strategy. So first thing first, you need to ask yourself, why am I stressed? You need to analyze your emotions. Then the second step is to basically develop a strategy. And the third step is, after you've done this, you need to tell yourself, I did it. And you need to be positive about yourself. You need to be like, oh my gosh, I did it. I'm strong, I can do this. Like, I did it, And now, after you will basically win, you will be like, I did it. So now the next time, I know that I will be able to do this, So, this was basically all of it about the episode. So, improving your emotional intelligence can enhance your personal and professional relationships, so making you a more effective and empathic individual. So that's why emotional intelligence is important. It isn't easy because emotional intelligence is something you need to work on. It is something that isn't for everyone, because sometimes you have these kinds of people who are like, who already have this emotional intelligence. You just don't know why, you just don't know how, but they have it. And sometimes you have people who need to work on it, but everyone can do this. If I could do it, you can also do it, because emotional intelligence is to basically develop this strong mindset, this strong like person, strong attitude, strong personality, because you can understand everyone. And that is so rare, to understand everyone, to understand how they are feeling, to have this empathy. So yes, this was, if you have any questions or something you didn't understand, you can also write on the comments. There will also be a poll where I will ask you some questions and you can respond to it. If you want, you can also like, you can also subscribe, you can also put a rate on it. You can also contact me via LJ.Mindset, via Instagram, and also on TikTok, and also via my email. So yeah, hope you will enjoy. This was Louisa Trezor. Have a nice day.